hopefully, because I'm still dropping frames. Might just have to fully give up on multi-streaming because my internet just isn't working.
Such an unwise action.
It's raining. Quiet, soft rain. No gunshots, no twisted people or buildings. Just a simple...
My bitrate is currently set at 3000, and I've still lost 4000 frames. Whatever. It's functioning now at least. Barely. Music or light? Which would you choose to fill your home with? The main hall is packed with people, yet there's no music to be heard. Peculiar scene indeed. Fortunately, the guests don't seem to mind. There's no stage in the world that offers a performance like this one.
Signora Regulus, as I'm sure you understand, there's a great deal of effort involved in creating a concerto. From the initial spark of inspiration, to the careful arrangement of the music, to the skill required to play it. The fact that any concerto has ever been performed at all is nothing short of a miracle.
Barcarolla's tone is solemn, like a steadily intensifying march.
As musical director, it is my duty to select the perfect repertoire to bring delight to every listener. Then, the esteemed passengers of the Free Breeze can enjoy their dessert and wine with the finest musical accompaniment.
Oh, you can't be serious. Where's the fun in just sitting there and listening? I promise you, this lot have had more than enough lazy jazz and swooning piano to last a lifetime. We need to shake things up. Make this voyage the greatest of the century. How about some 60s rock? And wouldn't you know it, this visionary former captain has a record player right here with her.
He holds a stack of records high in the air.
All right, people, let me hear you cheer. Music is freedom. It should stir the soul anytime, anywhere.
Stop, Regulus! I'm the musicista here, not you!
Barcarolla's cheeks flush red. The audience claps, amused by the antics on stage. A small flower-adorned girl sits discreetly among them.
These outsiders seem so full of life. They're nothing like what Miss Grace described. Full of hatred and hostility.
Edith remains alert, eyes affixed on the stage.
This is my performance. If you really must share your music with us, then perhaps you should go to the captain and apply to be a cruise musician like me.
With all due respect, Miss Barcarola, the point I'm trying to make is that only a DJ knows what the crowd really wants.
Before Barcarola can protest anymore, the cunning little lion presses the play button. In a moment, all the lights on the ship have gone out. Regulus had no idea a record player could produce such effects.
Huh? Did I just shoot lightning bolts from my fingertips?
Of course not.
Barcarola finally manages to arrest the microphone from Regulus' hand, but a far more pressing issue than the content of the concert now faces them. Amid the darkness, discontent quickly arises.
God damn it! Who's stepping on my brand new leather shoes? Will you please watch yourself?
I was just about to say the same thing. Just let go of my jacket, moron!
Could you all keep it down? I'm going deaf here. Oh no, my wine! And the cheese platter!
A clamor of irritated voices quickly fills the space.
This could turn to total chaos before long. No, I can't let that happen. I must go check on the master switch.
Barcarola pushes through the crowd as she carves a path to the power room.
Hey! Miss Barcarola!
Please let me through, Signora Elizabeth.
Unfortunately, the guests can't tell a musician from the mechanics of the darkness.
Barcarola, where are you going? Let me give you a hand.
And time to set us.
Do you feel ready to discuss it?
Good luck. These books? This'll help. Don't be afraid to transcribe. Take a deep breath. Or, right, don't worry. It's been proven safe. Great luck. No use in avoiding it. You can do this or this one. And now it's easier to understand.
Easy video game.
Great. Now back to the salon.
Come on! There aren't as many of them this way.
Unbelievable. It's like you're an escape artist or something.
I'll, take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. Thank you so much, Signora Regulus.
I mean, she did also kind of cause this. A narrow path appears, Barcarola asks her. But it seems the surprises for today are far from coming to an end. A faint light flickers across Barcarola's vision, then quickly falls to the ground.
What was that?
A piece of rough bark twisted in the shape of a lampshade. The compass-like root burning warmly inside, shines through the darkness.
Tutu, are you okay? I'm fine. How's the Sea Mother's eye? Solid as ever, of course. It takes more than a few knocks to damage Nukatai craftsmanship.
I knew getting too close to those oafs would bring trouble.
Oafs? Are you calling me stupid?
Before the situation can escalate any further, Barcarola picks up the oddly shaped lamp. He's quickly basked in its glow.
What's this?
What did I say? Of course you have no idea what this is.
We form palm bark into lampshades about the size of a coconut, then tie fat-soaked compass grass inside. We call it Sea Mother's Eye. Every Nukatai knows how to make one.
They're way better than those noisy, buzzing light bulbs. Wait, why are we even telling her this?
Shh.
Before he can say another word, Yu hastily pulls Toa aside.
We need to lower their guard.
Huh?
Toa eyes Fututu suspiciously.
So that we can earn their trust. If we don't understand our enemies, how can we help Miss Grace with her mission and rebuild our home?
Oh.
Besides, we can't just leave them to shout and run around. It'll disturb our people's rest.
Toa finally breathes a sigh of relief.
Trust me, that girl will thank us for this later. And then we can get all the information we need from her.
Then we should make more Sea Mother's Eyes and hand them out to the outsiders.
Now you've got it. By the waves, Tutu, you really are clever. No wonder the elders always listen to you.
Despite this praise, Fututu turns away, a quiet look of doubt on her face.
Is this really the right thing to do?
Regardless, the sound of bark scraping grows up better people get to work. One by one, the Sea Mother's eyes light up. They are passed through, rough and soft hands alike, illuminating bronze skin, flax-colored irises. The warm lights make their way through the crowd, the clamor subsides. No more panic shouts, no more arguments, only a unique harmony.
What peculiar little things. Reminds me of my days on the fishing boat. I always loved spotting the lighthouse on our way back. These look just like it.
The craftsmanship is remarkable. You'd be hard-pressed to find something of this standard in a factory these days.
They remind me of the things my grandma and I used to make when I was little. She could even carve a whistle out of a parsnip.
They're sharing food and stories, just like we do on bonfire nights.
Fututu glances at her fellow Nukatai. Relived memories and longing are etched into their faces.
I'm getting more and more confused by Miss Grace's words.
The guests lean on one another, chanting happily under the warm glow of the lamps.
Miss Barcarola?
The timid voice of a child reaches Barcarola's ears.
I want to go home.
The scene before her is a mess. This is certainly no time for a symphony performance. Among the crowd, she sees Regulus shaking her head.
Is this one of the changes I must make to truly embrace music?
Single note drifts from the crackling box. Then, a harmonious melody full of joyful, lively, and contrasting sounds.
Whoa!
Their joy illuminated by the lamps, the guests start to clap along.
Attention passengers. The Free Breeze is currently experiencing a power outage due to a fuse blown by a cargo leak in the lower deck. We ask that everyone remain calm. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. To make your wait more comfortable, we'll be offering unlimited ice cream shortly. Additionally, since we're approaching the habitat of the series, we're expecting an increase in turbulence and noise as we work to ward them off. We appreciate your understanding.
The hall brightens again. The guests bid one another farewell, the lamp still tightly held in their hands. Baccarat smiles deeply as Regulus approaches her, a smug look on her face.
See? What did I tell you? Music works wonders. Anytime, anywhere.
You were right, Signora Regulus.
You owe me one now. So, how about a little reciprocity?
She rubs her fingers together mischievously.
Say, letting me have a rock session on the ship?
Do you promise you won't cause any trouble?
Cross my heart.
All right, you can do it. But...
Woohoo!
Permission granted. Regulus doesn't wait to hear her extra condition. She's already dashed off, speaking as she goes.
Don't forget to thank the girl who made the lamp.
As if I need you to remind me. I'll have you know I was just about to head over to her.
Aquila gently paces over to the darkened corner that has become the gathering place of the Nukatai.
Tutu was right. The stupid girl's back.
Shh. Huh? I must say, I don't appreciate being called an oaf or stupid. But I would like to thank you for your help back there.
She was a rock and roller girl. She was a classical music girl.
What?
On behalf of the whole crew, you have our respect.
Oh. What do we do now? Tutu never said they'd be so friendly.
The bewildered islanders exchange glances.
Tutu? Where did she go?
First boss stage. An old song at sea. A gritty song, infused with hues of coral reef, hint of brine.
I've learned so much about the outside world since I boarded this ship. So, why do I feel even more confused? I trust my people. They're good and kind, and they've never lied to me. You just have to look at their spirit shells to see it. The songs and dances of Melly nourish the shells, and the purity of my people's souls color their surface in the most beautiful patterns. And Miss Grace, she's been good to us too. She warned us about the destruction of Melly, saving us from the flood, and she showed us the world as it really is. She even wants us to be part of her plan. Our ancestral shells have also told us how terrible the world outside is. That it's a place with Sanguma witches, Nakarua serpents, and all kinds of other beasts. But...
those scenes replay again and again in her mind. The casual conversations, the warm smiles, and the glowing lamps in their hands.
But now I'm here, on this ship full of outsiders. And I feel that they're just like us.
Past and present blurred together as Fatutu searches her memories, leaving her dizzy and overwhelmed. In the days, she has wandered into another part of the ship. It wasn't until a voice snaps her out of her thoughts she realizes where she is.
Hello, young lady. What are you doing out here all by yourself? Don't just stand there. Come on in.
Sorry. I didn't even realize where I was going.
Unheld, Homesman gives her a hearty pat on the shoulder.
No need to apologize, my dear. You are more than welcome. You saved us old folks from sitting here in silence till we reach shore.
Charlie's just happy to have someone new to tell his stories to.
I bet Ansem will jump at the chance to show off how he drives off those series, too.
Series? I've heard they're a real headache for passing ships. But I've never seen one with my own eyes.
The tutu curiously peers out the window. A strange yet familiar hum fills the air.
Well, well, it seems this young lady knows a thing or two about the sea.
How about you give us a hand, eh?
He extends a rough hand to her. The tutu takes a hasty step back. The hand remains warmly held out before her. He has seen many hands like this before. Callous, working hands, like those of Grandma Pino, Uncle Tarek, Grandpa Natano, and many of the Nukatai. Something comforting its familiarity.
Me? I'm not sure I know how to...
Don't worry, it's almost too easy.
These series are afraid of loud noises, and the Free Breeze has plenty of speakers on board. The sea is with us today.
Of course it is. For how long we've sailed its waves, why wouldn't it be?
Homesmen exchange a few winks and shoulder pats. There's a clear camaraderie between them. They roll up their sleeves as they prepare for the performance.
Get ready, folks! Port the helm!
And I can just auto this.
Do you feel ready to discuss it? I am correct. Don't
New mechanic?
keep up the pace. This will help. Don't be afraid. Time to turn the page. Take a deep breath. Or apply the glass. I will remember your sacrifice. To read. No use in avoiding it. Journey to the cosmos. Together, we are fearless. Take a deep breath. Wake up. We share the secret. I am the waves in the ocean and the stars in the sky. To a brighter future for everyone. I'll be right here.
I can't read it.
I admire
This book? And now it's easier to understand.
Yeah, it's just good.
Hot scale.
Listen.
Fortunately,
Great. I'm safe.
Just work properly.
Or this one.
My bit rate is currently set
Don't
at
be afraid.
3,000.
Time to turn the page.
Lower it a whole
To
lot.
read. Great. I'm safe. Take a deep breath.
I just...
And now it's easier to understand. Shine. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Different. To transcribe. Journey to the cosmos. Careful with the pages.
We share the same dreams.
I am the waves in the ocean and the stars in the sky.
To a brighter future for everyone. Hard scale.
Properly
For you
actually
and for us.
runs. The new mechanic is as... does not seem like Otto really knows how to deal with it.
Are we really doing this? This'll help. Would you care to lie down? Like a metaphor. Time to turn the page. Those who buy this book? And now it's easier to understand. Look at you. So broken.
Keep up the pace.
Great. I'm staying.
Keep going. For our dream come.
Course 270, hard starboard. Slow down to 5 knots. Watch the bow wave. Turn on the speakers. Time to chase off some sea monsters.
The sea's navigator issues a steady flow of instructions. The cruise ship slowly turns, carefully avoiding the reach of the sea monster's tentacles.
Signorina?
He gives Vatutu a harmonica and asks if she can play it.
No.
Don't worry. Anything you play, will do. Can't be worse than what Essam has to offer.
I can hear you, you know.
The sailors joke and jostle as they clamor for their respective instruments.
I grieve to leave my native home. I grieve to leave my comrades all.
They burst in song.
Come on, join in.
The harmonica finds its way to their lips. Melodious music, off-key yet heartfelt, drifts outward towards the sea, just like those nights by bonfire in Melly.
But a poor simple sailor just like me must be tossed and turned in the deep dark sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, the sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me?
An aimless sea shanty after another tears through the fog, with lights shimmering on the sea's surface like embers after a festival bonfire. Realization strikes her. She finally understands her role.
Miss Grace.
The outside world is indeed full of dangers, but there is less to fear than you think. I'll help you through it.
Advice and reassurance echo in her mind. She suddenly feels weak.
What am I doing? Sorry, I have to go.
She scurries off.
I don't understand. Why are they so nice? This is nothing like the stories.
Her questions hang in the air, and so too does the knuckle at a door.
Come in.
Timekeeper, I hope you didn't have too much difficulty during the power outage.
Not at all, Sonato. It actually gave me the opportunity to try out X's latest invention, the bouncing bulb. It's very interesting. A little draining, though.
Would you like to try out one of these, then?
Did you make this, Sonato?
I did. Miss Saloni from Nukuteo taught me how to make it. It's called a sea mother's eye. She told me every household in Meli lights them during storms to help guide those at sea safely home. She said, with this, no one will ever be lost in the dark.
Thank you, Sonato. And what a lovely saying.
Sonato breathed a sigh of relief, but her eyes remained fixed on the sea mother's eye.
After this mission, we should be able to apply for a field investigation in Italy.
Italy? Thank you, Timekeeper.
Sonato is unable to hide her delight.
But let's focus on this mission first. May I borrow your communicator? There's something I need to verify.
Of course.
Connecting to Madam Z of the St. Pavlov Foundation. The person you're trying to reach is currently unavailable due to communication interference. Please leave a message after the beep.
Ren and Sonato date in Italy.
Huh?
Maybe we'll find like a Schneider version 2 in Italy.
Just as I suspected, communications are blocked. Someone's jamming the signal.
Do you think it's Manus Vindictae?
It's possible. The flyer proved that this ship has some kind of association with them. We need to stay vigilant.
Regulus should know about this. I'll go find her.
A heart-wrenching scream echoes from afar. reverberating through the halls.
Regulus!
They hurry over to the source of the scream.
Regulus! Are you alright?
Minato stops in her tracks. The scene before her is all too familiar, or has played out countless times at the LSCC.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
Mystery event. Knowing this game that the reverse Nighturn just to kill her off again. Just to traumatize Fern more. Knowing the fact that Regulus has just dropped her sunglasses, Ulrich calmly pours coffee into his energy intake.
Mr. Ulrich? What are you doing here?
The Pharaoh swirls in a distorted arc.
Good day, Timekeeper, Researcher Regulus, Miss Anetto.
This really the disguise you went with?
Wait a minute. Vertin, did you know he'd be here? Listen, there's no way I'm paying for even half an extra ticket. In fact, he should be paying for me.
Well, this might take a while to explain.
This game quite literally did put Vern in a trauma-induced coma. I would not put it past them to do it again. Science Salon. On understanding each individual at Laplace. An unofficial meeting on the Artificial Stone Project to help you for the free beasts in Australia.
Did you wake up with a glitch this morning, Ulrich? The storm has already taken so many lives, and now you're planning to intentionally bring another one upon us?
Quit your worrying, Jonathan. The artificial storm will be under strict control, and you're not even on the research team. Besides, there are some issues we still need to fix, so we've come to a bit of a standstill for now. I promise you won't wake up to find the building engulfed by the storm.
Sorry? Are you saying that you've already started?
Ulrich, I have to warn you. Ever since you found that satellite, you've been pushing past the limits of Laplace's regulations. You've accessed materials from other branches, used valuable resources for your own purposes, and run experiments without proper clearance.
What baseless claims, Penelope? I'll have you know that everything I've done has been approved by the HQ director.
Director? We don't have a damn director!
But we do have a substitute director, so there.
He gave a pointed nod in Enigma's direction.
For the last time, I'm not the substitute director. No one can substitute for Madame Lucy.
Merely your heavy knock on the table resounds once.
But let's set that aside. We're here to figure out what to do with the satellite. Not to stage an intervention for Ulrich.
The solution's as clear as day, my friends. We'll do exactly what they did in Plisetsk during the third storm. Find someone brave and send them into space.
He's right. Why don't we just build another satellite and see how it handles the storm?
Sarcastic applause suddenly erupts.
Wow, what an amazing idea! Truly a stroke of genius. So, we're talking about a controlled experiment, right? That means we'll send not just one, but dozens of satellites, all carrying different items.
What's the problem with that?
Oh, nothing. The budget team will be thrilled at the idea. Here's a better one. We sit tight and wait till the storm sends us back to 1995. And bingo! Surprise! There's our satellite, orbiting around the Earth once again.
Medicine Pocket, please mind your tone in the meeting room.
Oh, sure. Just as soon as they stop trying to waste all our research funds.
I'm with researcher Medicine Pocket here. There's no need to launch more satellites. We should be focusing on the artificial storm project.
Ulrich knocks the table, drawing everyone's attention.
The project has made substantial progress. I have collected every item that was once on the Regulus satellite, including the space seeds from Plessetsk. You have no idea how difficult that was, let me tell you. It was easier to get Regulus's record.
Still, you probably didn't need to steal it, Ulrich.
You say that, but I've heard that it isn't going all that smoothly. Accelerating the reaction of asymmetrical nuclide R with fixed-frequency sound waves so as to stimulate the storm. It sounds impressive, but what's the payoff? Have you found the key material that provides immunity from the storm?
Good point, Lucas. I never claimed the experiment was perfect. In fact, I'll be the first to admit that it has some serious procedural flaws.
Huh?
Through 26 microscale artificial storms, I tested 7 different space seeds, an astronomical spectrometer, a high-speed photometer, some obsidian crystals, and a Lycopus lucidus talisman. None of them endured the trials.
Then what do we do now? Just give up?
No!
Ulrich awkwardly clears his throat.
But I have used all the asymmetrical nuclide R that we had in the warehouse.
What?
Medicine Pocket springs to their feet like a shocked animal.
Sit down, Medicine Pocket. Jonathan, go get some stress ball.
No! I can shout all I want, okay, Substitute Director?
Medicine Pocket slams the table, sending papers flying.
Ulrich! All the asymmetrical nuclide R! It's all gone?
Welcome, Stream Kinetic.
I had to use it. It's just standard consumption, like in any other experiment. And I got results.
With that amount of resources, of course you'd find something, dumbass. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. Keep at it if you want. You're gonna smash that dead end head on.
Now come back. Fair enough.
I don't see why you're commenting on my work. We're not even in the same department.
Ulrich presses down on the table to ease the vibration, shaking the ferrofluid in his tank.
Because you used my materials! That was most of the nuclide R from both the Plas and the Foundation! You have to be kidding me! You get all you want while I'm here like some chump filling out endless forms just to get a few drops!
The badge on Medicine Pocket's chest creaks under the stress of their shouts.
Next time, just give me the funds and nuclide, and I'll be more than happy to run a few laps in the storm with that crap from the satellite and see what happens.
We would never endanger the life of a researcher like that.
That's why we should launch another satellite. No need to risk anyone's life, especially since we got plenty of colleagues with aeronautics experience.
Can't do that. Our best space expert is still in the Laplace care unit.
The smoke temporarily clears, and finally, one member returns to Can't speak. One member returns the meeting to its main agenda.
So, Ulrich, what's the next step with your experiment?
I'm taking it outside, of course. The richest deposits of asymmetrical nuclide R aren't in the lab or the Foundation's warehouse. They're out there in the real world. We've been overlooking how the density of nuclide R has affected our experiment results.
Come on, Ulrich, that's just an excuse. Where would you find a higher nuclide R density than in a Laplace lab?
That might be the exact problem. The environment here is too controlled, too clean. The storm has never been the manifestation of order, but of chaos.
And how exactly do you plan on finding chaos?
The scientists are fighting tooth and nail to secure the budgets for their individual projects.
Everyone, please! If we just sit here arguing instead of getting out there and doing something, those sneaky researchers at Institutum Lawrence are going to get ahead of us!
He slams a butterfly patterned envelope heavily on the table, adding yet more fuel to the fiery chaos.
Lawrence? That strange secret society?
Let's see what kind of bull they're spouting this time.
No medicine pocket, just toss the letter into the shredder.
Hurried footsteps echo. The clear voice cuts through the chaos.
Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies for interrupting your debate. The St. Pavlov Foundation has passed a new resolution.
Change is one thing, and competition is another. About both, how can we improve? The chaos logs. Orange butterfly attached to a roaring ritual to an envelope. Eyes driven entirely by arcanum. Going to use this, a black eyeball covered in synapses, complete with a mouth. Innovation conditions, experimental results are near impossible to replicate. Conventional method of operation. Once activated, it detects environmental changes through gnosis, emitting screams that are visible. Style. Laura is offering a new perspective, not a phenomenon but the ebb and flow of chaotic variable energy. This exchange of you planning to author a new paper. I just renamed the asymmetrical nuclide R to chaos energy. What else checked off? Batted out at Institute Lores Orentez made a significant contribution to Artificial Storm Project. He says in the field agent administration, I confirmed the status of indicated areas, although they didn't perfectly match the core region of the storm. This current uncurrent supernatural phenomena. As before, researchers didn't perfectly match it, but don't constitute convincing enough. A lot of words. Data, the p-value is low as 0.012. Significant correlation. Higher Institute of Laurentez will know our cure is reversing faster than time itself. accuracy, not the fun kind. This is a real game. Real game changer for records. My own statement is definitely much more of a damaging bomb.
Miss Simone, did you just say something about the Foundation? Are we not moving off topic? We were discussing our efforts to identify substances immune to the storm. What is all this about the Foundation?
No idea, but it's sure to be the most cheerful, positive, wonderful news. That'll teach you to run Madam Buckethead out of town. Now it's going to be those Foundation dimwits calling the shots. Ha!
I won't stand for the Foundation ordering Laplace around. I'll set things straight with them later. You have my word.
He raises his hands in exasperation before promptly dropping them and slumping back into his chair.
In fact, Miss Simone, you may relay my message now.
I understand your concerns, Mr. Enigma, but given our present circumstances, the Foundation's involvement may have a bright side.
No unfolded repair document.
The resolution the Foundation relayed to me was principally concerned with your artificial storm project, Mr. Ulrich.
Huh?
What? Did you switch gears on us, Ulrich?
For Flux's sake! All I did was ask for a little support.
Speaking of, the Foundation also sent through their approval for your other requests. Mostly anyway. They agreed to supply the majority of your requested materials, including replenishing a portion of our asymmetrical nuclide R, and they've dispatched field investigators to assist us. Additionally, they've done preliminary screenings on the locations you mentioned and confirmed they meet the specifications of our experiments.
The Foundation has never been this generous with us before. Huh.
Joy rushes through Ulrich. He feels almost in a daze.
Don't go popping the champagne just yet, Ulrich! Our new bosses aren't going to come anywhere close to replacing all the asymmetrical nuclide R you've wasted.
Ulrich ignores them, his gaze fixed on the letter in Simone's hands.
Still, it's all too easy. What's the catch?
They want to witness our results, firsthand.
Table smacked once again.
Deal. Someone, anyone, take down the minutes.
Ulrich pounds the table once more, sending waves through the ferrofluid.
They also sent over another possible location that they haven't been able to confirm. A ship. The Foundation has requested that you investigate it personally. The Timekeeper will brief you on the details.
Fine, fish tank. You're off the hook for now.
Regulus glances at them, then her eyes fixed on Ulrich, who is calmly removing his disguise.
Just so we're clear, you're not planning to smuggle out my treasure, right?
I wouldn't think of it.
Fab. And you're not angling that I foot the bill for this excursion, right?
Ulrich clears his throat before steering the conversation back on track.
The Foundation's intel appears accurate. After some preliminary checks, I am certain this will be an ideal locale to conduct our experiments. I've never seen such intense readings of asymmetrical nuclide R outside of the storm.
Hold on a minute, Ulrich. You're not about to take a swim, are you?
Only if necessary.
With my record? You've got to be off your rocker, mate.
Ulrich quickly updates her protestation by presenting her with her record.
Not at all. It's time it was returned to its rightful owner.
He embraces the record like an old friend.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my treasure. Welcome home. Oh, I'll broadcast your tracks on Radio Apple for 72 hours straight and hold the rookinest party ever just for you. Oh, you've got my word.
The joy of this reunion pours out of her before a graver possibility flashes across her mind.
Hold on. You're not about to withhold my funds, are you?
Fret not, Regulus. Given its special significance to you, we made its composition analysis our first priority. Now that the first step is done, I'm more than happy to return it to you.
But what about your experiments?
Touching her little thing in her hands, Regulus hesitates and reluctantly hands it to Ulrich. He uses his thread again, adding the faint formality of disguise once more.
Not to worry. I've already made arrangements.
He proudly raises his coat to unveil the pass's latest masterpiece. Dozens of identical little thing records are stacked neatly together.
We went to great lengths to ensure these replicas were identical in every way. We even reproduced the ink used in the signature. Identical down to their heart and soul, courtesy of Laplace craftsmanship. We've achieved complete consistency in both composition and appearance.
Which tone is cut off by Regulus' exclamation of surprise.
Well, I've got to hand it to you. They're dead ringers for the real thing. But this is piracy. And not the fun kind. Musical piracy.
I disagree.
Drastic times call for drastic measures. I hope you'll find it in your heart to forgive us, Regulus.
The hateful home. Once tangled in a single arrangement, now unraveling in a sea of melodies. Cumulus clouds drift slowly across the night sky, like the rolling waves of the sea, the countless stars glinting faintly behind them. The damp sea breeze has laid a heavy layer of moisture on the surface of the ship. Panning at the observation window, Kevin's face. There's a faint, hesitant sound at the door.
Oh, Miss Vtuber. I hadn't expected you to visit.
Grace's face lights up, every inch radiating joy. He eagerly opens the door, affectionately pulling Vtuber into the room.
I must say it's a welcome relief from the onslaught of greedy businessmen and boorish officials. All puff and no substance. Bloated, lifeless. They remind me of a few specimens of decay from my collection.
Decaying specimens? Miss Grace, you mean body?
Hush.
Let's just leave things at that.
She squints as she sees the faintly protruding veins in the girl's hands, imagining the blood coursing anxiously through them.
So then, you're here to talk about something else? Go ahead.
Yes, Miss Grace. I just wanted some advice, if you don't mind.
Not at all, my dear. We are friends, aren't we? We are venturing into the unknown, so it is little surprise that you feel lost. But disorientation is a dangerous enemy. I am more than happy to help. Relax and keep an open mind, dear. We have a long night ahead.
A few soft, subtle noises come from outside. They are not enough to disrupt the intimate conversations between the two. Grace sets down her pocket watch, her gaze drifting past the slightly ajar door, a faint smile teasing her lips.
The thing is, I tried to ignore the outside world, just like you said, but I failed.
The tutu instinctively lowers her head.
The idea of raising a spear against people I know so little about, even if it was to avenge my home. I felt I had to learn more about these outsiders, to understand them. I'm sorry I went against your advice. I thought that learning about them would harden my resolve. I thought that I would hate them from the depths of my soul. That the hatred would be so strong that I'd feel no remorse. That I would see in them what you and Manus Vindicte do. But
in the face of her wavering resolve, the tutu bows her head in shame.
Instead, after interacting with the people here,
the noisy music hall, the bustling tourists, the bright lights, the sea shanties, they all linger in her mind.
But Tutu, my dear, there's no shame in having second thoughts.
The gentleness of her response leaves Tutu momentarily stunned.
How could you not? This was but your first glimpse of a world so much wider than you knew. But you'll soon realize that it is nothing more than a dying corpse. Its lungs still clinging on to its last breath. The face rots first, you know. It's a nasty scene, I assure you. Those shrinking, putrefying eyeballs are always a headache for taxidermists. Next, the chest cavity. It rots out from the inside, bloating with noxious gases produced by its decomposing flesh, until it's ready to pop like a party balloon. Even at this stage, if you were to hold your breath and look only to the limbs, you might marvel at the artisanship. Such a perfect creation. Yet it dies all the same. So it goes.
The tutu has never encountered such a warm and spirited captain before.
Do you see the world any clearer now? Take your time. Think it through.
She slightly tapped her finger on the board beside her, as if keeping time with the faint footsteps outside. Lost in thought, the tutu remains oblivious to it all.
The outsiders are different from what I expected. Miss Grace, are you sure they're truly evil?
Grace glances out the window. Through the porthole, a strange vibrating sound grows faint. Following Grace's gaze, the tutu notices an enormous shadow on the other side of the porthole. Canned parasols and railings really create such a inscription silhouette.
They are cunning, menacing, and at times have even been known to engage in eavesdropping.
The shadow creeps closer towards them, stealthy and deliberate.
Miss Grace, watch out! It's some kind of monster!
There is no doubt. This cutting description is a shadowy intruder.
It's here!
Scrambling, vtuber grabs whatever's nearby, signal lights, rooms.
I'll protect you, Miss Grace!
Now time to simply not have to
Embrace rather than resist. Or this one. This'll help. I'll be right here. To transcribe. Listen up! Discord? Don't worry. It's been proven safe. Like a metaphor? To read.
Great. Now back to the salon.
Easy video game. The commotion seems to have come to an end.
Is it dead?
Panting heavily, vtuber musters the courage to rush out of the cabin. The figure on the deck is far removed from the terrifying enemy she envisioned.
Oh, it's you, Barcarola.
Familiar tears, streaked face emerges from the aftermath of the chaos. It seems unfazed by the disheveled state of her crew staff.
Miss Barcarola, what a pleasure to see you.
Have you lost your mind, Vatutu? I've been looking all over the ship for you to thank you for the lamps you made. This is a funny way of saying you're welcome. Not even the rudest student in Cremona would attack someone for saying thanks.
An unfamiliar term springs from her list, sparking Vatutu's curiosity.
Cremona? Where's that?
That's really not what matters here.
Settle down, please, ladies. This was only a small misunderstanding, wasn't it? As both your captain and your friend, I hope that you might be able to resolve this. I do believe I could see you two becoming fast friends.
The captain's overtures are anything but subtle.
Vtutu here is eager to learn about the outside world. And I'm sure you must have many stories to share, don't you? Consider it a favor, in exchange for those sea mother's eyes.
Simply wouldn't do for a captain to do in such a state.
Why don't you take a seat, Miss Barcarola?
Aside, extending two delicate hands to them. The girl takes her hands, allowing themselves to be drawn close, then they lean. The sea breeze sweeps across the deck.
You were quick to gloss over your hometown. Cremona, wasn't it?
Grace's voice is gentle and soft. Barcarola finally loosens her strings, speaking as she looks out over the moonlit water.
Cremona, the city of islands, as they say. See, I was born in that awful, dreary old place. But I don't like to talk about it, Miss Grace.
Vtutu examines Barcarola's expression.
But it sounds like you still miss your home. So why speak of it that way? Is there something wrong with it? In Nicoteo, When we find something rotted in our village, we wrap it up in stinky grass and throw it in the ocean. Do you outsiders not do this as well?
Well, it's not completely rotted exactly. It's just...
Furrows her brow, seemingly searching for the right words.
In Cremona, everything is bound up with the violin. How it's made, how it's played, even the science of it. It fills the air and every conversation. You can't walk to the trattoria without tripping over a virtuoso. They come from Rome, Berlin, London, New York, Nairobi, Tokyo, Uppsala, people from far and wide, all crammed into one town. Not a day goes by without a concert, a symphony, or a festival musicale.
Am I misunderstanding you? Because to the Nukatai, the idea of a place with music and festivals every day sounds very... fun.
That's where you're wrong, Signora. It's no fun at all. At least, for me. To be Cremonese is to take pride in its music, its history, and above all, its violins. And you must learn to love the violin, the viola, the violoncello, and the bass, because there is nothing else. Every quartet is a string quartet. Every concerto is Vivaldi. Strings, strings, strings. The monotony is unbearable. The world has so very many instruments as diverse and as varied as the people that fill it. Even the shell around your neck could sing if you knew just where to tap it. But not in Cremona. That's why I speak of it that way, Fatutu. Because if I had stayed there, I would never have seen the music of the world and its instruments, and my crackling box would never have been able to know their sounds.
The Nukatai don't have many instruments. Not so many as you anyway. But we were never bored with what we had. I'm certain that your island holds great beauty beyond its music. If ever we grow tired of singing and dancing, we'd go searching for shells or swimming in the reefs.
You still have much to learn about the world beyond your islands.
Then you have no intention of ever returning home, Miss Barcarola?
The most ordinary question.
Return? No, never. They're too set in their ways, like old fossils. My vision of music grew beyond them, and I did too.
Barcarola cups her hands around her mouth and hollers.
I won't force myself back into their little world!
Your determination is admirable indeed.
Glad to hear it. Then my position is safe for another day.
How could it not be? You are the very star of the free breeze.
Uh-huh.
Barcarola's face lights up with renewed pride.
What about you, Miss Grace? You've never told us about your home.
It's a place of little interest to anyone. Not even worthy of naming.
The demeanor is far more composed than the rambling chatter of Barcarola.
They say a musician must be free of attachments to be truly creative. Perhaps this is true of captains as well.
No, that can't be right. The Nukutai believe that to stray from our home is the death of the spirit. If we travel too far and too long, our spirit shells develop cracks that no amount of Nuku glue can mend. And from these cracks come an intense sadness. The elders call it homesick.
Homesickness. See, we have this word as well. The sailors aboard often ask me to play the songs of their youth when they're missing their homes. So many different melodies. Thankfully, my crackling box has all kinds of instruments to suit their needs. I imagine it must be difficult for your people now. If you'd like, I could learn to play some of your songs and perform them. I'd be more than happy to help after all you've done.
That's kind of you. I'm sure it'll be of great help to us.
I'm more than happy to help, Patutu. It is my job after all.
The girls' conversation seems to stretch on forever, increasingly frequency when they rub their eyes clear. Passage of time. Eventually, the sun climbs above the sea, painting its surface a blue.
It appears the sun has caught up with us, ladies.
Mamma mia! The concert!
As she rubs her eyes, Barcarella catches a glimpse of the captain lightly shaking her pocket watch. Remembers something equal.
I promised Signora Regulus a rock and roll concert, but I haven't even asked her what instruments she needs. Ciao, ragazze!
With hurried footsteps pattering down the stairs, Barcarella quickly vanishes.
Thank you for talking with us, Miss Grace.
She has waited for Barcelona to be clearly out of sight before speaking.
Don't mention it. I only hope that it was helpful for you.
I have one last question. I was wondering, how do you stay so determined?
It's the second. 13. Xbox is 13. Flashing genres. Opera house. Radio station. Also forgotten tunes. The air is buzzing with anticipation. Regulus stands on stage, cheering and dancing in a lively twist.
Hello, Free Breeze! Listen up, all my rock and roll stars fans and wannabes. You lot are in luck, because you are about to experience the greatest, grandest, most radical rock and roll party of the era. Now get up on those feet and drag those little legs of yours on deck, because it's time to get those old bones jumping. Just think, folks, one day you'll be sitting by a fireplace telling your grandkiddies that you were here. This is the night you become a legend.
Ciao, Regulus!
Barcarella bursts into the room.
Well, if it isn't our star musicista.
This isn't what we agreed on. I thought we'd make our preparations together.
What preparations?
Barcarella pats her chest as she tries to steady her breathing.
To begin with, we must do a survey of our guests' musical preferences, then prepare a song list to match. Then we must carefully organize our transitions to optimize the flow of the concert.
Wait! Arrangements! Concert! What are you on about? This is rock and roll, love. A proper rock and roll party.
No arrangements? No song list? This isn't what I was taught to do in Cremona. As musicians, we have a responsibility to ensure that every listener enjoys an exquisite and seamless experience. We must allow them to savor the emotion and artistry of each piece.
Sounds a bit stuffy, doesn't it? Come on, no reason to get all hung up on the details. Music is freedom. The only thing that matters in rock and roll are the vibes.
Regulus clearly holds no space for unnecessary formalities.
You don't use your brain. You feel it in your heart, babe.
Happening the story, rock and roll concert as written as Miss Grace continues to try to indoctrinate people.
Guess your miserable old music teachers never taught you that, eh?
The corona furrows her brow, but eventually her expression relaxes.
Fine. But just to be clear, next time we do it my way.
Ha! Cheers, love! You're an inspiration to musical directors the whole world over.
Flattery is often more effective than any incantation.
You can find the record player in the locker backstage.
Regulus immediately darts backstage. Turn off the lights. Connect the sound system. Check the stylus, pick a record. Position the tone arm. Raise your hands high. Get ready for a...
Is this what you call heavy metal?
What's that? No! First up is an iconic taste of psychedelic rock. But I haven't even found the power socket yet.
The clanging of metal echoed from the lower decks, growing louder and clearer. A whirly shrieking follows, followed by feels like an earthquake. While the guests exchange uneasy glances, Sonata senses something.
Timekeeper, those sounds are familiar, aren't they?
Metallic percussion sounds, sprinkled with screams of pain. His Manus Vindicte.
Those blackened, bizarre metal creatures free their heads once more. Someone yesterday. Nice. The gambling project is going well. A torrent of metal instruments surges up from the stairwells to the lower levels, like oil gushing out of a pipe. Sudden commotion sends the guests into an uproar. They huddle together, whispering nervously to one another.
What? These persistent pests again? Which hellhole did they crawl out of this time?
Don't worry, Signora Regulus. I won't let them disturb your rock party.
She stands calmly but fiercely before them.
You oafish barnacles are ruining the atmosphere and scaring our guests. I very much doubt you're doing this with the approval of Captain Grace. You should be working in the engine room, not making noise up on deck. Have you all forgotten the Seafarer's Code of Conduct?
They appear unmoved. Foundation's skaters step forward, immediately taking command of the situation.
Sinetto, Regulus, get the crowd out of here. Get ready to engage with these Manus thugs.
Understood. Miss Barcarola, I'll ask you kindly to step back from these brutes.
Please, Signora. There's no need for alarm. I know they may look a little strange, but they're just engine crew. They work here.
I doubt that.
And as such, as our musical director, I have some authority over them. Moreover, it is my duty to ensure all our guests have a safe and enjoyable stay.
Now I see how the Manus kept themselves hidden.
But Tutu quickly finds herself trapped amid the restless crowd. She stands on tiptoe, dazzled by the countless overlapping shadows and rays of sunlight.
Is that Barcarola? What's she doing over there?
amazed and astonished gazes, Baccarat gradually approaches the dark mass of members.
If you've come to be entertained or perhaps for some music lessons, I would be more than happy to assist you in the crew quarters later. However, your musical talents will not be needed at this time, as we already have a scheduled performance.
No heed is taken. Instead, a hammer is
Stop
raised
then.
high. And temperatures up.
Embrace rather than resist. To the right. Don't you spook? Listen. Don't be afraid. Great.
So lunge up.
Or to the left. A fragment of truth. I can't find. To the right. Don't worry. Do you spook? This'll help.
Would you care to lie down?
To read. Reading complete.
Easy video.
What's that?
More and more Man's disciples fill the perimeter of the hall, surrounding those inside like trembling pen sheep.
What's happening? Why are they acting crazy?
She stands resolutely, putting herself between the guests and the crazed Man's disciples, her heavy breathing dancing on the neck of her crackling body.
As the musical director of the Free Breeze, I can't allow you to harm our guests.
Enough of your nonsense, foolish outsider.
A flash of cold light streaks the air.
No! Hobo protect!
A shell-shaped ripple appears, reflecting the icy arrow.
Are you okay, Barcarola?
Vtuber darts out from the crowd, rushing over to Barcarola with no regard. The surprised stares at the Nukatai behind her.
What are you doing, Vtuber? That is an outsider. Have you forgotten your duty to your people?
A stern, familiar reprimand booms in her ear. After steadying the shaken musician, Vtuber nervously turns around. Her brother's figure looms in the shadows of the crowd. For the first time, this image deeply unsettles her.
No! Never! But... Kamutsa, this is not defending our home. And it doesn't feel like avenging it either. What we suffered was not these people's fault. There has to be a better solution to all this. This isn't our way. It isn't right.
Vtuber stares fearlessly at as her brother draws closer. As he comes in the light, you find yourself staring into a face that is both familiar and strange.
Kamutsa!
And they have been indoctrinated. Kamutsa gently shakes his head. Inkly black liquid drips from the seams of his mask.
Vtuber, we have no choice.
Jeanette. End of the sun. A pitch black ship, enveloped in storm, rain, and hatred. The win gambling stream, probably about like 7-ish days. I'll check after this one. The sound of scraping metal brings an end to the pumping rock music, painting a look of solemnity and fear on the faces of every guest. A lithe figure steps gracefully onto the stage.
We should raise a toast, one and all. For we're in luck's good graces to be aboard this ship. A ship? Perhaps one ought to think of it more as an art.
The guests exchange uneasy glances. After a long silence, one guest hesitantly breaks the questioned silence.
Just what are you getting at?
Oh, I get it. Is this some kind of surprise theme party, like a murder mystery? Is that right, Miss Barcarola?
Barcarola looks bewildered. The captain's sudden and strange appearance on the stage was certainly not part of the performance. At least, not one that she had prepared.
No, I didn't plan for any of this.
You aren't entirely wrong, though, Mr. Matthews. For this is certainly a surprise, if not so much a party as a ceremony. Allow me to congratulate you, our honored guests. Each of you with your unique talents, resources, and powerful connections have earned a chance to join Manus Vindictae.
If this is some kind of joke, Captain, I don't find it funny. So how about you knock it off?
There's no joke at all. Unless you plan on throwing away your precious opportunity to join us in the new era.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Have you gone insane?
Their fear and anger, the guests make to leave, but a young man in a mask swiftly blocks the doorway.
How dare you blaspheme our savior!
Toa, ever since you put on that mask, you've been acting strangely, like a different person.
She can hardly recognize her dear friend at all.
You're wrong, Salome. I was lost after we left Melly, but now I've never felt so certain of myself. You must ready yourself for the mask trial too. We must all be willing to sacrifice to bring our people into the new era.
He proudly pounds his chest as he glares disdainfully at the trembling crowd before him.
As for these ignorant outsiders, they will never understand the depths of the crimes they've committed, or the punishment they deserve.
Calm down, Toa. Don't bother with these outsiders. They only care about themselves. Only the storm can bring the change we need.
With bizarre masks, fervent prophecies, and the clinking of misshapen shells, they perform their unannounced stage play. Its audience cowers together in fear.
Lunatics!
Timekeeper, it seems as though the islanders aboard are working with Manus Vindictae.
There's no telling what else the Manus have up their sleeve. We need to call for support as soon as possible.
But our communications are jammed.
Regulus, are you able to reach Mr. Ulrich? I should be. I've got no clue where he's at now. He dashed off with the roaring machine, mumbling something about sound wave frequency and nuclide R. Still, I might as well give it a shot. If I can still recall Laplace's internal frequency, that is. Sonetto, we must calm the situation before things escalate further.
On it.
Orders are issued methodically. Grace watches with interest as a navy top hat moves through the crowd. A gentle smile creeps across her
Ladies and
face.
gentlemen, perhaps you have yet to understand what the storm really is.
No, perhaps we don't, because I remember what you wrote in all the flyers. The Free Breeze is equipped with a double hull and the most advanced communication systems available, capable of contacting rescue and support under any circumstances.
Yeah, and something about its stabilizing system. Why should we be worried about some heavy weather? Or were you lying to us?
Oh, the specifications of the ship are all very much true. No natural weather phenomenon could endanger us here. However, the storm I speak of is not a mere matter of churning wind and thunder, and no double hull nor stabilizing system could stand against it.
So, what the hell is this storm?
It is a cleansing. A deluge that will come to eradicate all the sickness of this world. And an opportunity. A chance to reverse our course. All that is asked of you is an insignificant price.
Reverse? Price? What are you talking about?
In the 90s, veins turned into wires. In the 80s, skulls turned into geometric shapes. Oh, in the 60s, what fun we had then! The entire world became a pop art spectacle. And Manus Vindictae have seen us through each one for all these many years.
The crowd's murmuring grows louder and more chaotic.
So, you're saying that the world is going to be transformed? That something weird will happen to our bodies too?
You are exactly right.
And the Manus were behind all of this? Why?
Now, don't be so harsh on us. We've made heroic efforts to cleanse this world of its sickness. But each generation keeps making the same mistakes. Economic collapse, environmental crisis, endless wars and bloodshed. We had no choice. The wounds of this world must be cleansed, one deluge at a time. Now we are welcoming a new storm. One that will reverse us to an even more distant past.
Fear and anger intertwine. The crowd is like a volcano on the verge of
You're
eruption.
a lunatic, Captain. You need your head examined. Lady, you need a psychiatrist.
But these things you're showing us, they really happened?
No need to take my word for it. You will all bear witness to it soon.
The crowd descends into a hushed panic. Every lapping of the waves can be heard among them. Mostly murmurs.
The storm is not coming! We are from the St. Pavlov Foundation, an organization dedicated to the protection and rights of humans and arcanists.
Oh, thank goodness!
As the timekeeper of the St. Pavlov Foundation, I can assure you, what she showed you won't happen here. Manus Vindictae are just trying to manipulate you into buying into their deception and hatred. Don't give in to this false fear. Please, everyone, remain calm.
Another bamboo arrow shoots through the air.
Protect us? You? Don't make me laugh!
But Tutu doesn't hesitate to stop him.
Toa, wait! She seems trustworthy. Maybe we should listen to what they have to say.
Really? You think these people care about rebuilding our home? Were they there when Nukutea was hit by the great waves? Where was their protection then?
I'm not sure. But I just can't bear the thought that we might make a decision we'll regret later. I don't want to see any more cracks and scratches on our shells.
300 hours build time. I am still working on it. Might have something real soon. Maybe. The cries cannot overpower the murmuring of the guests, nor can they quell the rising fury of her kin. They certainly cannot stop another poison arrow.
Subito Sera! This is getting out of hand. Be careful, Timekeeper. They're coming for us.
And time to...
Do you feel ready to discuss it?
They've been...
To the left. I admire this or this one. Listen.
Sharp thing. Would you care to lie down?
Quick, no mistakes. It hurts. This book? The right. Or this one? I can't.
No use in avoiding it.
Look. Time to turn the page.
I will a fragment of truth.
And now it's easier to understand. I am the waves in the ocean and the stars in the sky.
Keep up the pace. I'll be right here.
We shall correct this or this one?
To a brighter future for everyone.
Regaining control of our bodies. I can't read it. To transcribe. Did I miss something?
This round.
To the left, the right.
Would you care to lie down?
To read. Time. Journey to the cosmos.
An easy game.
Keep going. For our dream, comrade.
The hall is in utter disarray. Labored breathing, sighs, and sobbing blend together like a sticky pot of stew.
No, this isn't right.
She wants to say more. Merely a scent of herbal incest suddenly overwhelms her. Sleepy reads, a herbal anesthetic used by Nukatai priests during surgeries.
I think you need some rest, sister.
Huh? I'm sorry for Tutu. This needs to be done.
Salome catches her as she falls unconscious. The ongoing confrontation on the other side of the hall is evidently far more intense.
A fine speech, Miss Burton. Such delectable, righteous indignation.
Surrender, Miss Grace. Your lies will not succeed here.
Why, of course. To tell a lie brings the harshest of consequences. Even a kindergartner knows that.
Grace surveys the hall. Countless eyes are fixed on her. Anger, hostility, confusion, disdain. She has walked through it all before and never left a trace.
Everyone, whenever there's an imminent storm, my watch here starts a countdown. But there have been no signs of...
Grace places a delicate hand on her arm, interrupting
What a
her speech.
coincidence, Miss Burton. I so happen to have a similar device myself. 3, 2, 1.
Impossible.
Miss Burton. As you said, lies will not succeed here. The question is, Who here is the liar? Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to relish the sight before you. Here we are. The last evening on Earth.
Not expecting like an actual cutscene. And happening, presumably that time is about to be reversed. The storm. But I doubt I have enough time for this one. I can guarantee that this is going to be more than 8 minutes. Probably just stop there for today. Go back in time, which period are we going to? Whatever the writers feel like. Been in the 20s, been in the 90s, been in the 60s. So far it's just been like the 1900s. But I presume that eventually we're gonna go like to the 19th century. And so on. Yeah, I highly doubt I have enough time to do another one. We'll have to continue next time.
The future.
Maybe.
I'm not sure what it will be like, but I know I will get there.
Yeah, 7 days. 7 days into the next banner. Future 2999. Actually really enjoying the story so far. Probably one of the better like event stories, whatever. Oh, I will not be able to stream tomorrow. So hopefully be back Monday. Well, more than likely for a week. So thank you all for watching. Oh yeah, soon.